Howdy. I wanted to go over part 2 of the project with you today. I hope you read part 1, which was the introduction. Part 2 talks about the needs assessment and front-end analysis. So if you read the book for this chapter, you learned that it's really important to do a needs assessment to determine whether there is a need for training. So as you recall from part 1, the scenario is that you've recently opened up your own business and you have a client, Texas Bluebonnets Community College, who has asked you to help with a problem with international students. The problem is that they're great students and they're doing really well, but when they go to get a job, something isn't going quite right. So the college has asked you to look into this because if they don't fix it, they could lose their funding or courses could be canceled. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is a needs assessment or front-end analysis because we want to determine whether training could solve this problem, because not every problem can be solved by training. So we go in and we talk to people, we look at data, and then we reach a determination what could solve this particular problem. And if we determine that training could solve this problem, then we continue in the process. So the first step is to determine whether there's a discrepancy between the desired state and the actual state. And we kind of determine this in the introduction, that it's desired that these students graduate and they get great jobs and great offers, but it's not happening. So there is a discrepancy. So now we want to say, why is there a discrepancy? So we start by gathering some data. Okay, so we determine that 73% of the students are unaware how to apply for a job. That's a pretty big percent. 86% aren't very confident in interviewing, so that's huge. And 92% don't know the correct procedure in the main areas related to interviewing. So these appear to be major issues. So we further want to investigate this by interviewing some of the companies that they interviewed with that did not hire them. Okay, so we talked to 5 employers. The Perfect Pie company tells us that they look really good on paper, but then they arrive, they just don't come across well. And the HR manager there can't convince the hiring managers to take a chance on them. Okay. Then we talked to the Director of Career Services at Texas Bluebonnet, and she tells us that they do very little to help these students. They give them pamphlets, but they don't really train them very well. So it's not really, really getting them prepared. Okay. So after all that research, we decide, there is a gap. And the gap exists because they don't have the skills, background, and experience to navigate an employment interview. We decide that, yes, they can be helped significantly if we were to create an online training program and made it mandatory for them all to take this before they go to interview with employers. So we decide to go ahead. Once we decide that, the next part is we have to determine a goal statement. So we look this over and determine our goal statement, and that's going to be the overarching idea for our entire training. Okay, and we come up with a great goal statement that international students will demonstrate the interview skills needed to receive job offers after graduating by conducting research on organizations, preparing answers to standard interview questions, exhibiting a professional appearance, properly greeting interviewers and engaging in conversation, and following up with interviewers after an interview. Okay, so that's the end of part 2. It was a lot of work, but we think that we're really going in the right direction. Stay tuned for part 3. Thank you.